Good day everyone. Welcome to my channel. I am Wiz and I am here to share my knowledge on how to answer examination questions, especially the civil service examination. We know that this kind of examination is difficult for most people, and that's why we are here to help. In my own opinion, the exam is difficult, and it becomes more difficult when I waited for the results. Fortunately, I passed the exam with a single attempt, and that was one of my happiest experiences in life. So, without further ado, let me share my techniques to you. Please subscribe so that you won't miss out. And let's begin. One of our objectives for this session is to refresh what we have already learned. And of course, we have already experienced on how to solve problems in school assignments, quizzes, and examinations. Another objective is to acquire some techniques in solving problems. Based on my experience, having a technique in solving problems gives you an advantage, such as you save time and energy because you answer a certain problem more quickly. Our scope for today is under the numerical analysis, and it is about addition. And I hope after this session, the question about addition will become easier. Now let us start our first practice problem, and I hope you'll enjoy the session. Our question number 1. What is the sum of 680 plus 783 plus 606 plus 220? My technique in solving this problem is to visualize the problem as it is and establish a mindset that you will solve this problem as you would read it from left to right. Then, let us divide our tasks into small and more manageable tasks. Now let us consider the first two numbers. From the left, the 680 and the 783. We notice that they are big chunks of information, but don't worry, they can be separated into smaller parts. Let us concentrate our thinking power on the hundreds place of these two numbers, which are the 6 and the 7. Now, it is easier to analyze. Just ignore the other numbers for now and add these two numbers. The sum would be 13. Take note that we just ignore the two zeros for our own convenience, and that would mean faster analysis. Comparing to what we'd be doing if there will be two zeros, the sum would be 1,300. As we noticed earlier, we remove the zeros for time-saving purposes. Let us proceed to the next two numbers, the 6 and the 2. Same procedure as before, we will add them, and the sum of those two numbers will be 8, ignoring the zeros. It would be the same as 600 plus 200 equals 800. Now, we can add 13 and 8, and the sum would be 21, which is the same as 2,100. When 1,300 and 800 were added together. Now that we have 2,100 as our initial sum, we can now estimate on the elimination of choices. If we review our choices, we notice that there are numbers that are nearer to our initial answer than the rest of the choices, such as these two letters A and D. We might consider eliminating them to save time. Now, we can solve the tens place. It would be the same process as the hundreds place, but with a little difference. We can again start at the tens place of the first two numbers, which are both number 8 Now add the two numbers, and the sum would be 16. Next would be 0 and number 2. Now add 16 and 2 to get 18, which would be the same as 180, with the last 0 was omitted. Now here's a little tricky part. Line up your numbers so that their places, such as 10, hundreds, or thousands, will not mix up. This is when you will visualize their zeros. Then, match their places up. But don't worry, with a little practice, you can easily master this technique. Proceeding to add them, we get 228, or 2,280, which the last 0 was omitted. Now we notice that the thousands and hundreds and tens place of this 4-digit number match with letter B. To save time, and there are no other choices that starts with digits 228, we can now answer letter B. To clear our doubt whether it is really letter B, then we proceed in solving in ones place. But remember, do this if you have plenty of time left for submission, because in any exam, every second counts, and do not stay on one problem for a long time. You can skip and come back later. If there are easier problems in the exam, answer them first. Now we continue to the ones place, and the first two numbers are 0 and 3. Add them up, and the sum is 3. Now the second two numbers, which are the 6 and the 0, we add them up, and their sum is 6. Add 3 and 6, we get 9. And the tricky part, which we line it up to ones place. We now have the final answer, and it is 2,289, which is letter B. And that would be our final answer. Now, to wrap up our lesson, we have 3 important reminders, and this is also served as summary for our lesson. First is divide large tasks into smaller and simpler tasks so that our mind can concentrate more, and the distraction of thinking that the problem is difficult would be minimized. Second, save time by omitting zeros. How much precious seconds will be wasted if you write zeros? The key is practice this technique every day. Then check your answer with the calculator. Finally, remember to keep the numbers in line, whether you do it in your mind or you write it on a paper. Solving problems with the right system or approach can save you time and minimize error by keeping those numbers on the right places. Please practice this technique every day, and actually, you can do it mentally if you master the techniques. That's all for today. If you like my video, please hit like and subscribe so that you won't miss out my new videos. Keep safe, and may you pass the exam that you are preparing to take. Thank you for watching.